Extremists using video game chats to spread hate. Well, someone played Call of Duty for the first time. So, I mean, yeah, I could have told you that. You only just figuring this out. You're only just figuring this out. Extremists are using mainstream video games and gaming chat platforms to spread hate, BBC Click has found. I mean, like, yeah, like that. This type of stuff has happened on the internet since its inception. I first emerged onto the internet in 1999 when I had AOL in my house, right? That was my first foray on the internet, and it's been around since then. People say all types of shit on the internet. That's the internet. That's what happens. And I'm amazed that it is now the 2021st year of our Lord, and you're only just figuring this out. Over 3 months, researchers found anti Semitism, racism, and homophobia on platforms, including DLive and Odyssey. Haha, of course you did, yeah. Where users stream and chat about games such as Call of Duty and Minecraft. Well, the reason for that is you went on DLive and you went on Odyssey. And the reason that you find a bit of it there is because the mainstream platforms completely ban all of that type of stuff. So they move to these side platforms, and a lot of them go there, and then you go over there and look at them, and you go, oh, these are racist and Nazi and blah, blah, blah platforms, which is why it is extremely difficult for a viable competitor to come out against the big guys. Things like Twitch and YouTube and, Facebook and all that other stuff. A lot of the spicy boys will go over to the alternatives like BitChute and DLive and Odyssey and all that, and they will upload their stuff there instead. And then what happens is the mainstream media get pictures of all that and all the examples of it, and then no one wants to use those platforms, and they are pretty much dead in the water. And big tech fucking loves that. Loves that because it keeps their hegemony safe. It helps them stay at the top of the food chain and maintain their monopoly. Campaigners say including extremist narratives among everyday conversations can be a pathway to radicalization. These conversations then move to spaces such as private Telegram channels. Man, it almost sounds like banning these people from all of these platforms was actually a bad idea, and it actually only helps the problem go even deeper underground into its echo chamber where it is not being challenged at all by external voices. Because one of the ways that you can actually stop people from being, turned into extremists and being radicalized is to counter their arguments in a reasonable way. Like, don't hate on them, don't cast them out from society. Just come in, approach them, and have a nice little conversation. Something that, actually works. For example, this is something that Daryl Davis has done for pretty much his entire life, and he has proven that it in fact works. It's almost like the current methods by which Silicon Valley and governments are going down actually has the opposite effect. And they know it has the opposite effect. It's almost like they are actively trying to create these problems. I'm not saying they are, I'm just saying it seems like it. Once you're in that world, then the radicalization starts to happen. Joe Mulhall of anti-fascist organisation Hope Not Hate said, yeah, Hope Not Hate, remember them? Remember them? Aye. Oh, God. Yeah, these are the guys that still to this day say that I am a fascist, even though I'm a libertarian that ran for the Libertarian Party in the Scottish elections. Basically, Hope Not Hate. They are the firefighters that go around and light fires, so that they can keep getting their paycheck and keep justifying their existence. Except in this instance, they're telling people, everyone look at a fire, when any reasonable person can look and see that there is no fire. But hey ho, got to keep that money coming in. Paycheck matters more than truth. That's when you start to go to other meetings, to smaller groups that aren't necessarily playing games, talking about politics more explicitly. In response, Telegram told BBC News it used a combination of proactive monitoring of public spaces and user reports to remove content breaching its terms of service. DLive and Odyssey have not responded to BBC News' requests for comment. Now, the thing about Odyssey itself is their platform is completely decentralized. Like, as far as I understand, they have very little control. It's almost like everyone is sort of the host of their own part of Odyssey, and it's open source and it's all spread out. So trying to do it to Odyssey, like Odyssey is what fucking social media should be. So trying to go to them, like, of course they ignored you. They're not going to talk to you because they know exactly what you're going to do. Their policies cite zero tolerance against hate and violent extremism, and both say they are proactive at removing any content violating guidelines. Call of Duty said, the actions we have taken to confront racist behaviour, including banning players for racist and hate-orientated names, implementing new technology, and making it easier for players to report offensive in-game behaviour. Yeah, see that? Reporting players? Yeah, see if that actually worked, then your game wouldn't be absolutely plagued with hackers. And one thing, this actually only happened to me like the other week. You know how the death comms you get whenever you kill an opponent in a Warzone? You get to hear their microphone for just a few seconds. One of the guys I killed, I'm not gonna say it on stream, but I will say it in a similar way to what he said. I downed him, and as I was looting his body, all I heard was N-word, 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 and then it cut off. So yeah, it's Call of Duty. That's just what happens, man. I mean, you weren't in a Call of Duty Xbox lobby back in the day. People said some shit. People said some shit. Like there was one guy who even does the N-word speedrun. It's a black guy who joins Call of Duty games and he just says down the microphone, "I'm black," and he waits for people to say the gamer word. And I believe his record is 1.5 seconds. So well done for that speedrun, bro. I hope you get a trophy. But the researchers also found extremist roleplay scenarios within games on various platforms that let players create and share their own custom maps and environments. These included Nazi concentration camps and a Uyghur detainment camp in games such as Roblox and Minecraft. Oh, come on. That is just some spicy nonsense, right? I remember years ago, and I don't know if it's still there, but it might still be, there is an Auschwitz RP server on Gary's Mod. Right, that's just people being spicy, right? That is literally all that is. And I remember when we joined that server, and there was quite a few of us. Like we were all trolling on Gary's Mod one day, and there was quite a lot of us, and we all joined the Auschwitz RP server, and we all went to Jews, and we realised that we heavily outranked the guards, outnumbered the guards even. So we just kind of boogalooed. We just completely boogalooed, and we actually took over Auschwitz. Which was brilliant, and then we just kept killing the guards every time they came out of their spawn. But so that's just some spicy nonsense, right? No one is actually in there like proper RPing and LARPing as that. One Roblox driving game invited players to become a racist and simulate the murder of people belonging to ethnic minorities by running them over in a car. That's nonsense. Who gives a crap about that? Is that Roblox? I don't know. I've never played Roblox. These are small and not played by a huge amount of people, but what they do is allow extremists to create role-playing experiences to live out radicalized fantasies online. No, it's not. No, it's not. Jacob Davey from the Institute of Strategic Dialogue said, right, okay, you don't play games, you are not from this world, therefore you don't understand it. You are an outsider looking in, right? We have played on similar servers and we have done all this stuff, right? And believe it or not, like, a lot of the, like, more hardcore, like, far-righters that I speak to, they don't play video games at all because they view them as degenerate. Seriously, they do. And nobody goes into these going like, yeah, I'm going to be a racist because I'm racist and I want to pretend to be racist because I'm not allowed to be racist in the real world. No, that's not what happens. This is just spicy nonsense. Roblox said, we work relentlessly to ensure our platforms remains a safe and civil space, and with a combination of machine learning and a team of over 2,000 moderators, we monitor for safety 24/7 to detect and swiftly act on any inappropriate content or behaviour. Minecraft said, terrorist or violent extremist content is strictly forbidden by our community standards, and we take action to remove such content if it appears in our systems. But extremists may have turned to gaming spaces after the social media giants increased enforcement of their rules, according to the researchers. Man, it almost seems like if you just ignore the problem and try to sweep it under the rug, then the problem just perpetuates itself under the rug. The problem is still there. In fact, it's getting bigger. And basically, if it's not out in the open for us to deal with, it's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But of course, you know this. Hope Not 8 especially know this. But they want the problem worse because then they get more money. But extremists may have, I've just read that part. Mr. Davies said the extreme right wing have potentially found safe harbours to broadcast their ideology or to engage in more traditional propagandising, the sorts of things they would have done a few years ago on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Online gaming basically forms a means for people to connect over a shared hobby online, and this includes extremists. It's a way for them to connect with like-minded individuals, to socialise and ultimately form firmer social bonds, which can be really important in terms of advancing and furthering extremist movements globally. Yes, the revolution will start on Call of Duty. Yes, that's how. Is this like is this like that scene in Four Lions where they're using Club Penguin to communicate with each other? Mr. Mulhall said, "You sit at home after school and play games, so the gaming element can create a sense that it's normal, not extremist, not dangerous." No, games are not real life, Joe. Games are not real life. The Royal United Services Institute is part of a team of counter-extremism experts launching a large-scale investigation into online gaming. They say counter-extremism, specifically right-wing. Specifically right-wing. They don't do any other type of extremism, but that's handy to have in the title. The defence think tank's Dr. Jessica White said the online and chat space, where moderation tends to be poor, is being increasingly encroached upon by extremists, but we need to get widespread evidence of its scale. Right. It has been around for a long time, I can tell you. It has been around for a very, very, very long time. See, all this stuff, it's not new. And it hasn't actually gotten any worse. And I'm someone that plays video games a lot. This is not new. This is you just sort of discovering it and just further evidence that you are not from this world at all and you don't understand it. You don't understand online internet relations and the way people act online. Right? You've been a normie your entire life. You got into the internet later in life and you just don't get it. You don't get it. You don't understand it. I'm not saying that, oh no, every single one of them is not a racist. Some of them will be, but it will be a tiny, tiny, tiny minority. The government is also in talks with industry bodies to discuss steps to tackle the exploitation of gaming spaces by extremists, because of course if the government says, oh excellent, is this another thing that we can regulate and have more power over? Yes, let's talk. Because of course they do. A representative of the UK's gaming trade body, said, "We use sophisticated AI, artificial intelligence, moderation tools and trained community managers to build safe spaces. We also work closely with government and law enforcement to further protect players. We know the challenges we face are shared by other forms of digital entertainment, and we continue to adopt a positive and proactive approach to protecting players." Yeah, this has existed for a long time. It's absolutely nothing new. I would say that about 99% of the people that do all this spicy stuff online are not even racist. This is just the way that people have conducted themselves on the internet for a very long time. You are outsiders looking into a world that you do not understand, and you do not have a fucking clue what you're talking about. But I get it. You need to justify those paychecks somehow.